If you are struggling to let go of someone that you know is not good for you, but finding it incredibly difficult to release them, let me tell you this. Please ignore my crispy hair. I am not ready to break this cast yet. I know you have such a big, beautiful, compassionate heart. I know that you're interested in personal development. You've probably done a lot of it yourself, and you believe in people's ability to grow and change. I also know that you love this person, so it makes it very difficult to see logic through emotion. Ask me how I know. You have to make this choice of, do I hold space for this person to grow, or am I going to release this person? And because you have such a big heart and you're so compassionate, you're leaning on that, well, let me stay, let me see what he can do. Here's what I need you to know. I used this analogy with a client the other day, and it really helped. You are on mile 18, let's say, of this marathon of personal development work. You've been in talk therapy, you've maybe done some coaching, you love to read books, like you're invested. You realize the value of personal growth, okay? You've been dating somebody that you've been having to pull along in terms of personal growth. And in the marathon of personal growth, you're on mile 18 and you are about to leave and you're saying these things need to change. And now he's going, now wait. Okay, fine. I'll get running shoes. He'll get running shoes. That's what he means when he says, no, wait, now I'm going to start to work on myself. Now I'm going to read the books. Now I'm going to go to therapy. Meanwhile, you have spent 2, 3, 5, 10 years, sometimes some of my clients, hoping for this man to grow. And he's finally saying, I'm going to go pick up running shoes. You know what? I might fuck around and go for a run on Sunday. Maybe I will. Meanwhile, you've been on mile 18. You might finish this marathon because you're so skilled and do another just for the fun because you know the benefit. And he's just now saying, oh, let me try. Do you understand how much training and effort and commitment it will take to get to the place where you can run a marathon and run it well? Do you understand how much energy and intention and work and facing your hardest, deepest feelings it takes to start doing that inner healing? It's really hard. I know that you know how hard it is. And if this person is leaning emotionally avoidant, what you have to know is that for him to be able to be emotionally available with you, he needs to meet himself internally. And that is very difficult, as you know, but especially for an avoidant who spent most of his life numbing out from his emotions. He needs to go back and connect with all of these wounded parts and be able to feel everything that he's been putting off feeling. Until he does that, he's never going to be able to meet you in the depth of emotional intimacy that you need. So he is starting at the beginning. He's like, maybe I'll try to hit the trails. How long is it going to take for him to be able to run on pace with you? And where are you going to be by the time he gets to mile 18? Are you going to be on your third marathon? Is the gap too big? I understand that as the feminine, you can see the potential. You always will be able to see the potential as the feminine. That's normal. But the difference between who he is and who he can be, his potential, there's a gap there. And that gap is you. You would show up. You would reach it because you did. You've been training. You've been on the marathon track. You understand the value. The gap is you and your willpower, your energy, your execution. It's not guaranteed that he's going to show up that way. So what you need to do is be asking yourself the question of, how long am I willing to hold space for this? And am I okay with what that's going to cost me in the process? This is the honest question. It is very difficult to change yourself when you are deeply willing. I work with clients who invest so much time, money, energy into growth, and it is still really hard work. Right? Is he really going to do that? And what are you going to be exposing yourself to in the process? If this is someone who is lying, who is cheating, who's betraying you, who is emotionally unhealthy, what are you going to have to eat in the process as he's figuring it out? Because it will not be overnight. It will not be a switch flip. Even 6 weeks of him showing up in a certain way, performative at best. We consider needing a pattern to be extinct for a year for it to be truly extinct and something that you can say, okay, it's unlikely this will happen again. That's if someone progresses very linearly, but that's not guaranteed either. I work with so many clients, and one comes to mind who was with a narcissist for 5 years, always wanting him to change and grow, and he would say the right thing and love bomb her, and then inevitably it would go back to the abuse. This is the abuse cycle. It's how it works. And so she hired me for one-to-one coaching because my private clients have support with me in WhatsApp, Monday through Friday, voice and text message, which is where you'd get information like this in your pocket every single day, shifting you and recalibrating you and helping you stand in your worth and have great discernment. So we worked together for 6 months, and in that time period, she ended up feeling so secure by healing her relationship to herself, we won't even get into in this video, so healed, so secure that she left that relationship because she could clearly see what was happening with him, and let go of this idea of who he could be, went on to feel so happy on her own and date from an entirely different place, which attracted an entirely different healthy group of men toward her until she met her now partner. Maybe this is a year and a half later, they're about to move in together. And that man still pops up in her texts with the same energy because he never did the work. Imagine how much time, energy you could waste, and more important than that, the emotional damage you could incur by continuing to engage with someone who is inherently not treating you well or valuing you and your feelings. If you are stuck on somebody that is unhealthy for some weird reason, this is my niche specialty because I've been there and I get it. The person who's an abuser or the person who is well-meaning and has potential but doesn't lead himself. They're both equally hard to let go of. So if this is something you struggle with and you want support and you're ready to break this cycle, you can do this so much faster with someone in your corner talking to you like this. If that's what you want, make sure you DM me on Instagram. Let's talk about what that could look like.